The topic of Cleetus McFarland, aka Garrett Mitchell, came up this past weekend at the Rock after he raced in both the ARCA Series event and made his O'Reilly Series debut for Richard Childress Racing. An article came out on MSN talking about the possibility of McFarland making it to the Cup Series was met with adverse fan reaction, to say the least. McFarland, Mitchell, whichever way you want to call him, the YouTube sensation, 4.6 million YouTube followers, honored his late great friend, the NASCAR Hall of Famer Greg Biffle. And after getting his first top 5 finish in the ARCA Series, started 7th, finished 4th, his best friend, George Siciliano, a.k.a. LS George, a.k.a. Squirrel McNutt, finished in the top 10 after qualifying 11th, finished 9th, both of them for Rhett Jones Racing. McFarland quoted as saying post-race, "Honestly, I just went out there and turned left for Greg Biffle. Think he'd be happy I didn't do anything stupid. Biff didn't teach me dumb stuff, so I didn't do any dumb stuff today. I tried to use everything he ever taught me." On the flip side of that, there were a lot of mistakes, a lot of dumb stuff by his own admission in the O'Reilly Series race, including taking it 3 wide, 3 laps into the race on the inside and then half spinning, messing up his tires. And that was one of, I think, about 5 or 6 incidents that either he caused or was involved with. He got into Nathan Bird at one point, cleared down on him on the inside when he was in the middle lane. Got turned by Patrick Staropoli in turns 3 and 4. Half spun and messed up a set of tires, so he had to go on old tires. There were a litany of mistakes, errors, and he was fish out of water, so to speak, in that car. Started 35th after, in his own words, chicken footing it in qualifying, and then in the race finished 32nd, a few laps down. He is aiming to be at Talladega in a few weeks' time in the O'Reilly Series in this equipment with RCR, which is the best equipment you can have at a super speedway. Different entities like Door Bumper Clear and Kenny Wallace, Mark Martin, the legend, the Hall of Famer, all have come out and, said their piece in regards to what McFarland, Stacking Pennies, Corey LaJoy podcast, all coming out about his viability. There's fans in terms of the Cup Series comments saying enough is enough. He doesn't have near enough experience for the Cup Series. April Fool's Day was 4 days ago. It's just a publicity stunt to have him around. He hasn't earned anything. Another person saying, "I love Cleats content, but I hope not. I'd be more interested in watching him develop in the late model on ARCA." Another fan saying, "Man, I hope not. I love Cletus, and I was 100% on board with him in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts race, but the Cup is different. Their standard needs to be upheld. That's just my opinion. I hope he does well in everything he attempts, though." At the end of the day, we will see where Garrett Mitchell, Cleetus McFarland advances, since he has the support of Richard Childress Racing, Tommy's Express Car Wash, and other sponsors he has connected to his businesses and the like. But for all your NASCAR and motorsports news, tune in here to Motorsports Reports and also the Grip Strip podcast I do with my good buddy Josh, appearing on all podcast platforms. So please like, comment, and subscribe.